And welcome back everybody here to week 5, day 3 of the Tencent LPL Summer here. Game 3 is coming up very soon, or it's right in your screens here as YG Young Glory take on Energy Pacemaker Hong Kong. My name is Pastry Time. I'm going to be joined by Papa Smithy. Papa, it's been a fantastic week of LPL here, and we're almost at the end here, halfway through the third day of play here in week 5. We've seen a lot of craziness already. Kind of two teams towards the bottom / middle of the pack here. What do you think we're going to see out from Young Glory versus EP?
And we're here with a replay of the TJ Summer final, which was between Young Glory and EPHK, the two teams that came through, were promoted to the LPL Summer split. I mean, Young Glory, been on a really long train of momentum. They've taken down some of the top teams recently. Were well outplayed by World Elite last game. That was finally World Elite coming back into their own. Young Glory, after beating OMG in the first game of this week, finally falling to World Elite. Against EPHK, the team 1-13, right down the bottom of the standings. They'll be looking to pick up a victory just to crown this momentum and take them to 6 wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, that they make top 6 and stay in the LPL, but to do that, they have to at least pick up more wins here, and they'd love to get one here against YG. So, Shen, Kennen, and Ari, the 3 bands there from Young Glory. Energy Pacemaker going with Zyra, Zach, and Elise. And Zyra, definitely a nod over there to the YG side. Yancer loves to play that Zyra mid as an AP. Other than that, the Ari kind of sticks out to me as well, but Thresh, one more time, is going to be the first pick in this draft.
He is, and Twisted Fate actually going to be brought out here by Supercat, you'd have to think, on the EPHK side. We haven't seen too much Twisted Fate. It tends to either win or lose games based solely on that pick. You'll remember World Elite trying to pick that against OMG, but just getting roamed on. Look at the 80% win rate, very impressive. But when that pick doesn't go well, especially when that first Destiny gets exploited by the enemy teams, there is that room to counter that Twisted Fate pick.
Yeah, I mean, Twisted Fate, one of those champions that at one point was synonymous with Chinese League of Legends, now, of course, played all over the world, still very strong. I think it's, that graph there kind of showed it all. Not picked very often because he's banned all the time, but when he does appear, he tends to win. So we'll see if that's the case here for Energy Pacemaker. As we've said, they'd love to pick up a win here. Twitch Lee Sin going to go into the pile for Young Glory, which kind of two champions we just expect to see at this point. It's curious to me that Twitch is going so late here in the LPL, but I think that's just a difference in scenes, Everyone understands how powerful Twitch is, but they don't necessarily want to be first picking him, like maybe in some other scenes where that's happening.
Absolutely. It's just one of those little things, Pastry Time. And Thresh, clearly the contested pick between the two teams here. And Twisted Fate's up. Someone has to pick him. That's how the history goes. It very rarely goes through picks and bans. And EPHK locked them up.
Yep, Lulu, Caitlyn, the next two there for EPHK. And now Renekton getting considered here. We saw how aggressively OMG picked Renekton in their draft for the first game today. Renekton going nice and late here, along with Lysandra as the mid-champion there for Young Glory. So nice few pickups here. And looks like Ryze, actually, will complete the lineup here, which I guess means we're having top Ryze, mid-Twisted Fate. I do not think we'll be seeing top Twisted Fate, although I've been wrong before. You never know. Oh, never mind.
You do see the shenanigans sometimes, Pastry Time.
Well, I mean, we've already seen Twisted Fate shenanigans in the LPL. If you remember Big Pomelo, he had something very special to do with Twisted Fate here. But EPHK, I love this pick, by the way. I think Malphite's fantastic against Twitch. And I think going to be a little bit more robust of a laner against someone like Renekton, who, Ryze has a decent time against, but I think it's a little risky. And this definitely fits the way they want it. The way their comp goes here. They've got Jarvan, Malphite, Lulu. That's already a great combo in and of itself, and it does get locked in here.
I believe it was OMG who ran that Ryze versus Renekton matchup, and Young Glory, Otto himself, was just smashed OMG's top laner there, and it was one of those, I think it was 4-0 as early as 12 to 15 minutes there, so not wanting to recreate that at EPHK.
No, and instead pick, Malphite, a pretty robust champion in the top lane. You can see he started with a Doran shield here, got the teleport as well, so clearly Dumbhawks just kind of wanting to, just say, hey, let's chill out and farm. It's fun when we farm. So
he's happy for some teleport, Twisted Fate gank shenanigans maybe in the bot lane, but he's not picking that teleport for lane. He's definitely picking that teleport to win games.
Just wants to relax and try and create a little island where he can farm up in the top lane. Looks like Sizz and Otto gonna get themselves up here, which is kind of curious. Lulu's actually kind of close. Well, in fact, Lao P gonna get spotted off here. Does see the ward that gets put down. So Renekton and Lee gonna spot that out. Don't quite know what they wanted to do there, but I guess they were setting something queued up. Denied though by Lulu, as Lao P was in the right spot at the right time. Able to detect what was going on there. Movement again here from YG. Gonna ward up that blue buff, and this is a lot of what we see in the early levels here. Normally teams like to move together, but they seem to kind of split up here. Energy Pacemaker actually pretty defensively spread across the map right now. In fact, Domhawk's here just gonna spot YG and Sizz, sorry, Otto and Sizz one more time. Just trying something. They really want to be in the red buff area for whatever reason, but they are getting detected here by Energy Pacemaker, and just in general, some early wards being put down here so they can monitor the early jungle activity.
You'd have to think that Java wants to start blue here. Thresh and Twitch can put out so much harass, you know, just punish him for picking up that buff. So there is the potential just to late invade here, and even if they don't pick up the buff, force Jarvan out of his jungle.
Here comes the late invade. They are, of course, sitting on top of water, or were when they were walking through. So EPHK know exactly what's happening here. Malphite maybe going to rotate in, look to make something happen. So the Peacemaker comes in, stun card on Love Cryboy, that's bad news! And now more damage coming through. Lulu there with a slow, forced to flash out there as Dark Passage on 5 members here, but Supercat with a red card. Maybe not what he wanted, but slow onto answer could be enough. Ice Shard as well, Exhaust being popped there as Lissandra forced to flash out of the way. Dragon taking damage as well there. There's another stun card there, flash forward as well as the autos come through. And Dragon, he may be able to live here. But EPHK are really making something of it. There's another stun there from Twisted Fate. And finally, after many summoners get burnt, EPHK successfully defend the late invade. Now going to look to invade themselves and, of course, pick up a kill.
And, of course, skilling the expunge there was Twitch. He didn't have ambush to go invisible and try and juke there, and it cost him his life.
I mean, definitely makes a lot of sense here in the early invade. Sizz, I don't... Whoa! That was cute there. Managed to get Q there, double Q there for a bit of execute damage, smite away that, and then Lantern over the top. If there was ever any way to stop your jungle getting invaded, that was one of the most creative, I think.
Yeah, turning a bad situation into almost a little mini win there for Young Glory, and so much style as well. Lovely play.
Sorry, Booping now up towards his blue buff here, smites that one off, and has to start it himself at this point with the lane is so deep into CSing in their lanes and farming the various places on the map. So he's going to take his blue away himself. Going to start a little behind here, as Sizz has already picked up his buff. I mean, both junglers going to be without smite for their second buff, but should be okay. And I think Doran's Blade as well contributing to that steal. That was very clever from Sizz. Impressed me.
And then just there, so Love Cryboy tanking out the golems there. He was low enough health that he couldn't enter lane at that health, but he just wanted to make sure that Twitch could have some experience while he's getting zoned out, of course, at this point.
Yeah, so Dragon not off to the best start here. Caitlyn Lulu very annoying at one of the classic push lanes here, along with, I guess, Lulu Graves here. Oh, Sizz, can he do it again? He's going to look for it, he finds Jarvan, actually beautiful kick! Slows him down and then kicks him in the back. That's an absolutely beautiful bit of counter jungling there from Sizz. Even going to steal away the red buff now as well. And poor Jarvan not off to a happy start at all.
Yeah, all the early warding, all the early positioning from Young Glory. It looked like it was they were gonna take a hit for it, given the first blood that came out. But that is now a massive win for Lee Sin here. Level 4 against the now level 2 Booping.
Yep. So a Q there, very accurate. Snipes off that Jarvan in his own buff. Steals away the double golem. Steals away the red buff now as well. And Lee Sin maybe just even gonna wait here for Jarvan to come back through. And try and do it one more time. I mean, Booping, I think, wants to be at his wraiths. Looks like they have respawned now. So I love Cryboy down the bottom, taking a bit of damage. Laupy as well gets ignited there. Get a flay damage from him as well. And Dragon will clean that one up there. So a bit of a misstep. The hook now as well. We'll get onto Kane as the death sentence lands the flay back. And that's going to be the double kill there for Dragon.
I guess Love Cryboy must be short of MVP points based your time, because between the original Dark Passage and that play there, just wonderfully on form as Thresh in this game.
Even sacrificing a little bit of his own time there to get the double golems down as well. He is doing everything he can to keep Dragon in this game, and he's done admirably here. That Twitch already 2-1-0 after getting first blooded. There is no better way to bounce back from getting first blooded than picking up 2 sweet kills in your own lane.
Young Glory keeping the momentum up based your time. They couldn't take it down against World Elite, but after taking down first and second place here, trying to prove it's no fluke and just put in a commanding performance against the last place team.
And a cool 1,000 gold ahead for Young Glory. You know, it's only 5 minutes in, so 1,000 gold's pretty significant. And it's just interesting to see already the early advantage that YG carving themselves out here. Looks like Domhawk's in the top lane, not having too much fun. Like Hook gonna come there, actually missing her into Laupy, but the slow comes through as well. Flayback as well. Love Cryboy absolutely on top of everything here as the exhaust comes out onto Twitch. But Kane maybe even gonna look to turn it around. The pickaxe here could cause some problems. There's a net forward, maybe needs one more auto after that. A great flare from Love Cryboy is gonna keep them safe, and the Venom cast there to slow Caitlyn off. Almost there as he dodges the pills of a Peacemaker. And that was beautiful play there to make sure Young Glory got out of that. That potentially could have completely thrown away the advantage they just built themselves.
Running out of Thresh superlatives, aren't we, Paige?
We really are. I had an awful pun, but when you move in there, it's Yancer now in the mid lane. Sizz just missing that Ring of Frost a little late there, as Supercat has already dodged the majority of the Lee Sin damage here, continuing to farm on Twisted Fate. But really, I love Cryboy in that bottom lane, making things happen there. Energy Pacemaker Hong Kong, despite having a very strong, aggressive, early game focused bottom lane, they are ahead on CS quite significantly between the two ADs, so certainly a win there coming through as a Vamp.
Smell a turret dive up top each time, but maybe just some proxying coming out from Renekton.
Certainly Otto is hanging out there in the top. Between the two turrets, Jarvan actually near the own turret, they're covering the lane as Domhox moves back in. They could maybe bait the 2v2 and he'd probably feel quite confident about it. The double recall actually level 6 for both of them as well. It looks like Domhox not going to take the bait. Jarvan gonna... Oh, never mind, they wait. They know he's there. They're going to go in for the dive there. That ultimate's activated. The stun coming through as well. Twisted Fate's even here in the top under hill defended. And the kickback beautifully played there as Otto picks up booping. The dive continues there as Twisted Fate's forced to flash away. Sizz a little too low here. And there's the flash auto. It's like a great ult from Malphite there as well to clean up the double kill. I mean, good work there from YG to pick up a kill in the 3v2 as Twisted Fate came in, but a little too aggressive with that dive, gets them both picked off as a result, and 2-for-1 is the overall trade.
And you know, if you're Young Glory there, you'll say, oh, we were so close, but just not factoring in Twisted Fate there. Turned off a very safe skirmish win into, you know, a 1v2 trade.
Now Domhox going to push in here, get a little bit of breathing room in the top lane. He is slightly behind in CS. The Lantern will get Dragon out of there as he just harasses out onto Kayn. Twitch, they're continuing to be aggressive. Kind of interesting to me that despite those 2 kills, Dragon, I guess due to CS disadvantage, just due to maybe saving up gold for something else, can't really trade with Caitlyn right now. We had a very aggressive pickaxe picked up here by Caitlyn just to kind of make something happen here and get some traction back in the bottom lane. Double Doran's pickaxe is a lot of early AD for this Caitlyn, and Twitch is actually having trouble trading here despite, again, those 2 early kills that he picked up.
Yeah, when he shopped, he bought the Vamp Scepter, boots, and some pots, which screams to me that he had about 1,200 gold. Couldn't finish that bilge water, so kind of caught between big item and power jumps here is Twitch.
Kayn definitely getting paid off here for the aggressive pickaxe pickup. I mean, no boots on Caitlyn either, but if you're staying at 650 range, sometimes that doesn't matter, although could matter here as Sizz is looking to go in. Yancer as well, looking a little frisky around the dragon area. This is a very, very scary initiation, potentially as well from Lee Sin. Lissandra, Supercat with the blue buff now. Need to see Lardrod up nice and quick as well. Lissandra going to come through there, the Ring of Frost looking, flashes with the ultimate actually, now Sizz going to ride it in. Supercat, I think, in a lot of trouble here, gets slowed down there, damaging from Lee Sin as he QQs in. And Resonating Strike into Sonic Wave, but more than enough to clean up the Scutchy Twisted Fate.
Yeah, and Lissandra's, after level 6, just so much kill presence with any sort of a jungler. But I mean, Lee Sin, at least in that snowballing especially, easy pickup.
Yeah, pop out there from Yancer as well, gets himself a kick back down to Jarvan. Otto's here from YG rotating down towards the top, a beautiful Q from Lee Sin. And enough Tempest damage there despite the exhaust, can he get out as well? Safeguards away to Yancer. And Sizz right now, I mean, we called it for Love Crybo maybe, but Sizz is not far off the highlight reel here in this game. Malphite's here though, that could be bad news for the Unstoppable Force. A flash force there for Laupi to get out from under that death sentence. And Domhox cannot find a window to use his ultimate, unfortunately. No flash available there for Malphite. Is Young Glory going to rotate down towards this dragon? A little risky here, but Jarvan's coming back off. It's basically a forced 5v4 if they want to go for it. I mean, Lee Sin's a little low, he's got to be careful here. Malphite coming through as well, spray and pray activated for Dragon, they've got to make it happen here. Love Crybo right in as well, the flay comes through, Unstoppable Force pops up 3 there, as is still very low but still alive there. Kayn looks for the last auto and finds it, so much damage onto that Caitlyn though, as Lee Sin's able to do enough to let Lissandra clean up the last kill. But now Twisted Fate's going to come in there, Destiny's in the gate through there, flay back there, beautiful play from Love Crybo as Yancer coming through, and just too much damage there from Young Glory. Twisted Fate tried to be a hero, but one more time for that Thresh. Absolutely beautifully timed flay to disrupt Paul Supercat, and nothing he could do.
A Young Glory would have taken a Dragon there. A 3-for-1 trade, very similar to the Dragon Gold. Everyone picks up a nice bit of global gold there from that team fight. Young Glory very happy with the return.
I mean, impressive for them that despite Sizz being so low, they felt confident enough fighting some freshly respawned members of EPHK there, and kudos to them, they managed to pull off what was a very rough looking team fight, I suppose. I mean, they had to do a lot there to make sure it went right, and it went really, really well for them. They can always, of course, make an attempt back on the Dragon now. They're about 3,000 gold ahead early on in this game, which is not too shabby. And looks like Sizz picking up blue here, not going to give it over, it seems like, curiously enough, actually wants to take it for himself here. I guess Lissandra might have a blue from the last team fight, and that's bad news for EPHK, because Lee Sin, he's already been doing some stuff. Him in a blue buff here, with a sight zone now completed up as well, kind of bouncing around the place there, even with an Oracles to put pressure on and clear out some of those wards. He's already, you know, made a couple of notches on the highlight reel. I can't imagine Caesar's got too much more left, but I think he's about to show us just how good he is on Lee Sin.
Absolutely, he's got the mobility, from that sight stone. He's got the skirmishing, just from the experience and having the levels there. The cooldown reduction is just the icing on the cake. This is just a Lee Sin you cannot screw with if you're EPHK.
And that Oracle's there, going to make all the vision around Dragon basically not possible here for Energy Pacemaker. They're probably going to have to give it up as pressure coming in towards the mid turret now for YG. He's poking back and forth here. Again, Twitch is kind of an interesting Siege champion because he's only really excellent in the Siege when he has his ultimate on, which of course you kind of need in teamfights, so it's a little...
No escape, of course, so if Malphite's ever next to a turret, he can never really get in any confident auto attacks there, so he's definitely not the ideal Siege champion, especially if Malphite or Jarvan are alive. Just so many tools EPHK have here to deal with that Twitch if he's ever in one spot sieging a turret.
Very true here. And Renekton actually not helping for that push on the top lane, but he does have something very curious in his inventory. We've seen Brutalizer before. We've definitely seen Sunfire Cape Spirit Visage from Renekton. That's kind of what we expect. Tiamat? A little different here from Renekton, but he's going to have a lot of bursts.
Tiamat has some very interesting interactions with just Renekton. Like, you could look at his kit and say, hey, that opens up a lot of wave clear between his Q ability and the Tiamat, but one of the interesting interactions is if you Tiamat while Ruthless Predator's W stun is available, he actually can move once again. It cancels the animation there, and he just allows him to be a little bit more flexible. So it's an interesting burst combination of choice from Renekton.
Papa Smithy with the very specific knowledge here as Otto's looking to go in there, booping in trouble. So he's going to dive under that Jarvan and pick him up. Supercat, trying here as the teleport's even coming through from Malphite. He's got Flash Ult, can go for it, the stun comes through, the ult's going to get there as well. The damage still in there for Dominus, but that was off so much burst though! Almost kills Supercat. Lissandra over the top now looking to clean it up. But Yanto can't quite find it. Ult on the Domox, so Dragon coming through now as well on that Twitch. The Venom cast's going to slow out Laupi. Ice Shard in there as well. Spray and Pray now looking for the damage. I think that's enough for Lulu. If he was in expunge range, that would be a dead Yordle. And so many members of EPHK low. Most of that damage to Malphite and Twisted Fate done by the Renekton in that 1v2 situation. You mentioned burst, Papa Smithy. That was absolutely insane.
It was just a disgusting amount of damage coming out there. I mean, it gives you that early AD pastry time. It is a very viable choice. It turns eventually late game probably. You'll probably leave it out for now, but late game into the Ravenous Hydra for just the extra lifesteal and just staying alive longer, which, given how tanky he's going to get, a scary proposition.
Yeah, you can really pop up very quickly with Kaldameek, especially with Fury, and then just tapping that Ravenous Hydra for lifesteal as well. Looks like Twisted Fate going to try and find something. Yancer looking to get away there, but Sizz going to be the one stunned and knocked up there. The Ice Shard coming through there just kicks him in the face. Oh, the safeguard, not enough though, as Cataclysm plus the red buff able to pick up enough damage onto Lee Sin. Now Yancer in quite a bit of trouble. No ult available there, unfortunately, to try and protect herself. And Twitch here over the top, trying to poke over the back of Dragon, but not enough there either. In fact, Dragon got to be a little careful. Never mind, Love Cryboy's in the mix now, looking for the hook. He fired. Nope, never mind. Doesn't quite find it. Flash boxes though. Wants to be aggressive here. Dragon with the Venom Cusk in there as well. Love Cryboy very low, but Booping's going to get picked up here. The barrier popped as well. Thresh alive for a little longer, but Dragon cannot 1v2 this. Can't even ambush out with the true side on help picks. And a double kill there for Kane is much needed gold for EPHK's AD carry.
And for all the amazing early gameplay of Love Cryboy, I think he judged that skirmish pretty poorly there. I mean, Twitch was low mana, Spray and Pray was on cooldown, and to flash engage there with the health values, with the mana values, it just unfortunately baited his team into extra deaths that were just needless.
Young Glory have to be careful here. They've been playing quite aggressively. It's been working out so far, but a lot of their item pickers especially really tilt towards the fact that they want to be playing very aggressively in this matchup, and they can't get too carried away with plays like that. I mean, if Love Cryboy get an aggressively misstep there, who knows what will happen, but there's a DFG on Lissandra to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. I mean, Tiamat and Renekton I can understand, it's an aggressive choice, but DFG on Lissandra, that's insanely aggressive for me, especially on an AP that usually wants to be such a utility-focused champion.
I mean, Lissandra doesn't really have the AP ratios, so you normally pick up the Zhonyas and the Abyssal for a bit more utility and a bit more tankiness. This is probably the one damage item that kind of makes a lot of sense on it, and that it does give you that surprising burst early in the game, but you're right, she doesn't have the armor or magic resist that some of the other options or some of the other choices, or even the stasis, of course, from the Zhonya's here. So really going to have to rely on smart use of that ultimate, because that's all she has in terms of tankiness.
So YG continuing to play aggressively here. Otto going to come in here on the booping. Here, happy 1v2 one more time, gets hexed up there. Damage coming through now. It's 1v3. Can Otto make it happen? Laopi, I think, in trouble. Renekton looking to try and get out of here. His team running up there as well. EPHK want nothing to do with that. Lysandra pops over the top. Doesn't want to go over there. I think realized that maybe you don't want to pop over that wall just in case. Down the bottom here, Dragon actually popped his ult. Looking to maybe do some damage here. Actually sieging up the turret here as well. Supercat not too phased by this. Kane coming down as well. Not too much damage under that tier 2, but a little bit there. Twitch not going to have his ultimate for a minute and a bit. So YG going to have to be careful when they force the next team fight. But just in general, Young Glory, a comfortable lead here, about 4,000 gold ahead. 2 towers down as well to 0. I mean, the kills look kind of even, or they're obviously ahead on that metric as well. I don't know, it's interesting here. I think Young Glory, I'd say, is a team that's a little newer here in the LPL, could be a sort of team that maybe get a little too aggressive when they're ahead, and they have to be careful not to really overstay their welcome here and give too much back to EPHK.
I think Otto here is probably being smart. He's got a lot of cooldown reduction. He's got Spirit Visage, which, you know, amplifies the healing he does in his Q, fits his kit very well. But he can find of a fault to be aggressive, because there isn't really the damage yet on EPHK to take him down. You know, when the Zeal's completed, when the last Whisper's completed, he needs to be worried that he hasn't got that early Sunfire. But until then, the base damages on the EPHK side, they're not going to trouble the Crocodile. He can be as aggressive as he wants to be.
That Spirit was that as well. Obviously going to shake off some magic damage, but just giving him all that more lifesteal when he does complete the Ravenous Hydra, assuming he does, that's going to increase in there as well. Just the cold and meek lifesteal he gets there as well, and just general health regen, which Renekton has plenty of as well, especially with Dominus running. It's pretty hard to kill Crocodile. You know, once we do see Randy and Sunfire Cave, that will get completed up eventually. Can't imagine he's going to go any more damage items at this point. Probably wants some sort of chain vest item. Probably with a giant spell in there as well. I mean, YG doing the smart thing here. Not overcommitting to tower dives, just aggressively pushing through the map, clearing out wards where they can. And just trying to do whatever they can. They know Malphite's ultimate's down as well. They must, with Dragon being that aggressive. And that's very well timed there as well. It's actually about to come back up here for Domox. And Energy Pacemaker, all they can really do, just kind of chill and hope YG make a mistake at this point. I mean, they've got Caitlyn, but they're not really in a position to try and get some map control and really start a siege.
And the lucky thing for them also is that if you look at the minions on the mini-map here, the minions aren't pushing against them. The minions are actually in a good spot for them, so they're happy to wait here and just pick up some gold on their carries.
Hook going to come through there, but misstep for Love Cryboy. A lot of members of Young Glory just off to the bottom side of the tower there, just hanging out, trying to see if they can get a pick off here, but I think Young Glory realized the pressure on that tower is kind of worn off here. We'll try some of the other lanes, maybe push them down. Otto going to stay up in the top lane, keep pushing for himself here. I mean, Domox can't really defend. Hook on the blue buff now coming through as well. Lantern supposed to be ridden in that answer, but it doesn't quite happen, but we'll donate the blue over regardless. So Lysandra going to pop over, pick that one up. And Dragon, I think, is back up as well. Young Glory, if they want to kind of keep the global gold going here, they could go for that Dragon. Dragon himself cleaning up minions down towards the bottom lane, as you noted, was pushing in. So going to pick up a nice bundle of farm, and looks like they are going to go for Dragon now. So, you know, Young Glory taking this game at a very reasonable pace, but I think they feel comfortable in this position right now. You know, they don't need to rush this game, and I think that's important.
And if you're an EPHK fan, the one kind of thing you do have in your arsenal is a Caitlyn who's quite happy here. 25 CS up on Dragon, has the Infinity Edge and the Zeal, you know, in a team that's really been, you know, in the situation she's in, she's very healthy. So if they ever overdive here to Young Glory, and Caitlyn can just sit at the back and free auto, they could definitely turn an engagement with the strength of that Caitlyn.
Although, yeah, so they're going to go in, and Kane immediately gets frozen tombed up there. Sizz looking for it as well, but a 2v3 started there with some ults for Young Glory. There's Cataclysm in as well. The Lantern available for Sizz. He actually goes forward, though. He wants to try and get the kill there and takes way too much damage, as Malphite's going to clean that one up. Desperately wanted to kill Booping, had the option to get out there, and did not take it here. Otto, in the meanwhile, taking the top tower, so there's a win, taking a lot of damage as a result, but able to clean it up. The hook there on the Supercat, maybe they'll go in the spray and pray bot there as well, but a good Zon is used there from Twisted Fate. Lysandra riding in there, very aggressive with Ring of Frost there, gets knocked up by Jarvan as that comes through as well. Kane actually gets that kill now as well, so Caitlyn looking very strong here. Dragon, though, doing good amount of damage, a great hex from Lulu, as Love Crybo's trying to make it happen. He gets one, he's got another already on Jarvan there, as Caitlyn falls to him as well. And they don't want to fight. He actually hooks up there. Laopi could be in trouble as well. Renekton now rotating, just buying time here as Love Cryboy for Otto to come in. They're going to ride it in there. I think that's going to be a very, very dead Lulu. The flay back there, the dark passage in, and an easy stun there for Renekton to pick up 1 kill for himself. So
after a slight hiccup, still those thresh mechanics very, very strong on Love Cryboy.
And I think you can kind of tell one of the reasons YG really wanted to pick up this thresh early. Love Cryboy clearly knows his way around this champion. And as you said, after that slight hiccup, playing absolutely brilliantly once more. I have to say though, Young Glow for me, that dive felt... It was an interesting team fight that they started there. I mean, again, the one criticism I would almost have of them this game is that I think they're being a little too aggressive here. I mean, essentially starting a 2v3 using a bunch of cooldowns with Lee Sin aggressively going back in with the option of getting out is maybe a little too deep here.
I think Yancer was pretty confident that he could explode the Caitlyn there, the Caitlyn, the crown jewel of this EPHK comp, instantly, with that DFG. It didn't happen, and with Barrier being available, with the Lulu ultimate being available, they don't have that instant burst if Lulu's right there and able to disable and then, of course, give Caitlyn that burst of health. She was, very healthy, able to fight there, whereas they must have considered the fact that hopefully she would not be able to fight at all.
Yeah, and obviously didn't quite go as planned, but Thresh still plenty of damage coming out. Kind of weird to say that, but Clyro really did a lot of work there in the last fight as he continues to do work clearing out wards there in the bushes with his oracles. Now YG gonna see things up here. Good ult there actually under the 2 members. The knock up as well. Still damage coming through there as Jarvan's gonna dive in there. That's a kill for Kane onto Dragon. A good ult there is onto Yancer as he's diving towards the turret. Has the lantern to ride out, but doesn't quite click it. And all of a sudden, maybe a little too deep for the diver as Otto picked up a kill on the booping Kane round the side as well. Gonna dodge the wild cards. Otto dodging everything, but he's gonna get stunned up and picked up. Sizz picks up Kane towards the back as well. Now Love Cryboy one more time. Can they do it here? It's 2v3 for YG as the Lantern's going to ride Lee Sin up. But this is a very mobile, very scary comp potentially. Lee Sin, he wants to follow up these Qs, but he's so low on energy.
And this, of course, is still 3.9 page
Now Pete rides in the damage! Oh, wants to kick him in. The red buff, not quite enough. The Lantern coming through, rides out again. Safeguard through as well. Now Love Cryboy's going back in as he's hooked up on the Domox. The box just nailing Malphite there. And a Q from Lee Sin, he needs to be back in range. I think he's out of energy though. Despite a 2v3, YG looking very confident there with Lee Sin Thresh, and that mobility is just absolutely absurd.
And no mana available on Twisted Fate. If that was 3.10, which we're actually a bit surprised that 3.10 hasn't been enabled by a week 5 day 3 here, that engagement would have gone totally differently because you saw Twisted Fate was able to zone there for much longer there because of course the gold card being able to stay locked in for that 8 seconds. When it moves to 4 after the patch, those sort of engages wouldn't be able to happen just because Lee Sin would have that bigger window with gold card being down.
Yeah, and even despite that, Sizz doing a nice job there once again. I mean, really, if you're going to look at any 2 people in this game for Young Glory and say, hey, who was the MVPs of this game? It's got to be the Mobility Brothers here in Lee Sin and Thresh. They played absolutely fantastically here in this one, and a big reason why Young Glories have a pretty comfortable gold lead here, of about 7,000 gold. 4-1 in turrets, nice as well. I mean, this game not out of reach for EPHK, but...
We saw the visual demonstration of Twitch trying to siege down turrets there. Malphite just said, thank you very much, ulted him down, and he died instantly.
Yeah, and Caitlyn's damage as well. Kane really could lay it on there with Zeal plus Infinity Edge. With Last Whisper, you have to think the next item there coming through with that pickup. Second pickaxe picked up. I mean, Speaking
of Last Whisper, you see, when we see those Twitch picks, we always see Blade of the Ruin King, then we see a mix of Infinity Edge or Phantom Dancer. But looking at who he's against here, a Malphite who's always going to have a lot of armor, is of course stacking armor, is Domox here, against a Zhonya's Rush Twisted Fate. I do like that adaptation to rush the Last Whisper second.
Yeah, absolutely here. Looks like Dragon going to rotate down towards the bottom lane. Pick up some farm for himself here. YG continuing to be aggressive here, but they really haven't found a window to really hammer this game home. They've got a good lead, but it's something we do say about inexperienced teams every now and then. A Young Glory certainly no slouch of a team, but certainly less experienced than some of the other teams here in the LPL.
Well, they don't have any sieging phase time. They only really have team fights, so this is where their comp breaks down a bit. They want to fight, but they haven't really established something they can fight for that isn't under a turret.
That's a good point. I mean, Otto's been looking to dive. He's dived very well when he's got a chance to. Sizz as well. Happy to be aggressive. In fact, all of the YG champions can aggressively initiate. Even Twitch, with that ambush, can potentially get in there and make some plays happen. There's a Malphite Otto coming through. Looks like around the back there, Lysandra's going to get so much damage as Otto and Lysandra just blow everybody up in the back. The kick out there as well. Sizz gets Jarvan off Dragon there. And now that's Lalpi. He's going to be the 4th kill here of this one as Malphite has somehow gotten out of the way. Renekton with a triple kill in and amongst that team fight. And I mean, a good timing down the Malphite ultimate to try and make it happen, but that was beautiful movement from Yancer around the back there. Absolutely magic.
Yeah, and Yansa won on the fight, because if you saw there, they went for the combination of the Malphite ulti into the Lulu ultimate. The Lulu ultimate was used aggressively there. Unbeknownst to Lao P, of course, both the carries were instantly exploded because of Yansa's flank maneuver.
And he said, Young Glory, they had to dive, and dive they did. Very, very strong play there. Now looking towards the top tower as well. I mean, Domhawk's going to defend it up where he can. In fact, Yansa got to be a little careful. Ace in the whole wheel chase. Ooh, not blocked. But not enough there. In fact, Malphite's still looking. Maybe can get something going. The wildcard's very close, and there's the flash ground slam. Domhawks collects a kill. I mean, Otto here, I doubt he's going to die. He's got slice and dice. He's got plenty of health. Can aggro those golems there with the Sunfire Cape, but he should be out in short order. Though the rest of the team getting in there, very cute to walk back a little just to be able to slice on a Malphite so he can dice a little further away. But again, the rest of Energy Pacemaker still here chasing him down. If Otto can get out of this one, he may just be Houdini. All 5 now here as well. And that's going to be the kill there. Kane picks it up.
Sizz, very smart play here on Lee Sin. He's run straight down mid lane here, wanting to get those minions pushing into their mid turret here and try and just get down another global objective for Young Glory.
I mean, EPHK almost in desperation at this point, starting Baron now. They're still 10,000 gold behind. They'd love to take this off the map, give themselves a good chunk of gold and some nice free stats, and maybe just try and turtle out the under their turrets here. But Young Glory going to try and disrupt this if they can. Sizz looking for a steal. He goes in there, he steals the Baron! Beautiful play from Lee Sin. He dies to Malphite, but doesn't even matter there. Sizz once more gets himself into the highlight reel. And Energy Pacemaker Hong Kong, they just cannot catch a break in this game from this Lee Sin.
And that was a contested smite there. You see both junglers have smite on cooldown there. One level advantage from Lee Sin, but just he had the cooler trigger finger.
And as a result, Young Glory steal the Baron away there from Energy Pacemaker. And now, really, if they were looking to dive before to start their fights, there's a good ult there from Dragon. From Domok to a Clip Dragon. They're stunning there as well. Dark Passage rides him out though. He's turned into a cupcake. He's dead there as Kane comes in with the damage. Cataclysm not really needed there, but just in case. There's a play coming back there. Kane now getting uploaded by Yansa. So much damage from that Lissandra. And Otto wrecking through the backlines once more. There's the hook on a Domok as Death Sentence comes through. Lissandra with the double kill there. 500 bonus gold actually picked up. That Malphite was doing work for EPHK. And Lissandra, you kind of, it looks a little silly, going for a pretty heavy burst build, but that was, once more, beautiful play from Yansa's Lissandra, and showing us that, you know what, maybe DFG Lissandra, not quite the joke you think it is.
It's no joke, Pastry Time, it's the aggressive choice, it's absolutely all in on aggression there. It's not Zonius, it's not Abyssal, it's aggression.
Yansa gets out from under that turret there, now booping in trouble, the ace completed as Lissandra gets the final kill. And what a fitting person to give it to as well. A good Zoni's actually from Supercat to protect the very aggressive dive that Otto was going for here. He's now dead, but Lissandra Thresh still alive. They're going to work on this middle inhibitor. I mean, yeah, it's just pretty scary. Lulu has to be very, very careful here. Now Sizz in there as well. Going to contribute where they can. Kane maybe can look for the ultimate here. Likely going to be blocked off here, but can still do decent damage. Malphite coming through as well with the home guard. Forces Lissandra to E out of the way. And you're right, it looked a little funny to me when I saw it, but DFG really looking good here for this Lissandra from Young Glory.
And Otto, he was running wild in the top lane. They were very confident about their front line. Why not get a bit more burst on Lissandra before transitioning into kind of those more defensive choices?
I mean, Otto, we've seen him completely wreck face in the last few team fights. He's comboed AoE very well with this Lissandra, and you can see why in his items. He's got the standard, he's got Spirit Visage, he's got Sunfire Cape. But to add to that, not only does he have a spare Giant's Belt for a probable Randuin's, he's got a Black Cleaver and a Ravenous Hydra on top of that. He is demolishing people with AoE when Ring of Frost from Lissandra's locking them all down.
And AoE lifesteal just gives him that much more staying power as well, so he's staying in fights, not just defensively, but offensively.
And every time that Lissandra Renekton combo goes around the back, Young Glory are exploding people. And the Malphite, Domox is trying to do what he can. He was doing well, actually 618 before getting killed there to give Lissandra a bit of shutdown gold. He's got Randu, he's got Sunfire, building likely an Abyssal Scepter there with that Negatron Cloak. Runic Bulwark's finished up on Jarvan as well. Items are starting to come out here for Energy Pacemaker, but they're still very, very far behind in gold. And I mean, I would love to tab over and see what the gold difference is between Otto and Domhox. I imagine it's a little bit disgusting. But
Domhox has done very well for himself, regardless of what's been happening for his team. He's played smartly here, and the QSS completed on Caitlyn. They do have at least an answer to the Lissandra ultimate now.
Yeah. I mean, they've got plenty of good CC to get out of. So maybe Kane can stay a little safer here. They really sort of need to keep alive here. Lissandra going forward, uses the QSS though, gets off that Deadly Venom. Taking a little bit too much damage, and honestly, Caitlyn a little bit too far forward there. Probably going to cost EPHK this inhibitor. They would have loved to try and defend it here, but not going to happen this time. And now the last inhibitor tower and the inhibitor up towards the top lane getting pushed in as well. Young Glory going to basically force a very difficult choice on the energy pacemaker. In fact, Dragon even just staying invisible there in ambush as the rest of his team pushes up towards the top. He's off towards the side here. Everyone healthy here for EPHK. Sizzo looking to kick it back in. Kane with a very nice flasher. I think Lee Sin found a Yordle snap trap, but Dragon gets the last inhibitor there. Yasuo diving in there as well. Lasonda gets picked off actually by Supercat as the wildcards come in. The box there from Love Crobo tries to separate the rest of the team here, but Twisted Fate wants to go back in. He tries to find the backline. Otto very, very tanky though, doing a lot of damage. Finally goes down to Kane here. And it could be a few too many missteps. Kane finally going to get dunked on there as Lee Sin picks up that kill. Sizz somehow still alive as he's forced to flash there. A good Zondi's there from Supercat keeps him alive for a little longer. But Dragon here still alive. More than enough damage to push through here. 4 for 2 trade overall there for Young Glory, and I think that's going to be the game here.
And with this victory here, Young Glory move into outright 6th. Of course, the top 6 teams stay in the LPL. The 7th and 8th fall, so for a new team like Young Glory, going to be very, very happy with this result.
Yep, 2 Nexus turrets down, the next to fall soon after. And Young Glory, they played aggressively all game, really made stuff happen in the early game with Thresh and Lee Sin. You know, maybe took this game a little slower than they may have needed to, but closed out with style there towards the end. And a dominating performance from Young Glory, who are still looking to make their presence felt here in the LPL. And they do not have long left, Papa Smithy, as we end up the 3rd game of Week 5, Day 3.
And Otto's showing why Renekton is just such a popular pick. It wasn't just the pure tank build we're used to here. A lot of damage coming out of that Crocodile. And look, it's right up there in the pick bands in the LPL, seemingly for very good reason.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Of course, if you haven't missed any of today's games, feel free to check them out. You can head over to youtube.com/lolchamp-series, where all the VODs that we are doing for you all are being stored. And of course, we've got one game left here, and it's a big, big, big one. Make sure to catch the VOD for that one. Invictus Gaming will be taking on World Elite as we continue with our last game for the Tencent LPL Summer, Week 5, Day 3.